Good afternoon, everyone. Emily and Hannah here, back again. Um,
Hi.
we're doing another critique corner. So, without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and then we're going to hear Emily's thoughts and feelings and critique on the set of images. Can you see that okay, Emily?
Yep, perfect.
Lovely. Okay, let me do that so we can have a nice look at them. Okay.
So I think, Hannah, you've got some information on each of them, haven't you?
N- n- yes.
Yes, from
Yes,
the
I have.
email, which would be useful for the critique. But first of
Okay.
all, I do just want to say thank you very much for the person that sent these in because it's a very brave thing to do. Showing your work and having it critiqued on social media is scary, I would
Yeah.
say. But fear not, you don't need to worry because you have sent in a beautiful set of images. So, Han, do you want to just
Yeah. So also, I do want to thank you all for sending through lots of images when I meant to write an entire Facebook post that was much more in alignment with me, Emily, in the training barn. And what actually went out was send us your images for critique, Emily and Hannah. That wasn't meant to be the whole message, but do you know what? It worked, and I can't argue with that. So this author has said that Q510273 was taken as the pony was being sold. Background wasn't perfect, but the intention was to capture the relationship.
so this is the bottom right hand one. Can you just make that larger?
This one.
Yep. Lovely. Okay, so as Hannah just said, this image, the purpose of this image was to capture the relationship in order for the pony to be sold. So I think in terms of that brief, you've absolutely done that. You know, if I'm looking for a horse and I want to see the he's super friendly and loves humans, then this is the shot I want to see, and absolutely nothing else really matters if the image is being used for that purpose because it does show that the pony seemingly loves connection with humans, and so that has hit that mark. You
I
did
think
say
it
that.
can be, oh, sorry, I
Sorry.
was going to say, I think the email can be interpreted that the shoot was because the horse was being sold. So I think these are memories for the owner rather than it being a sold image, maybe?
Oh, just read the
Yeah.
sentence again.
Um, this was taken as the boat as the pony was being sold. Background not perfect, but the intention was to capture the relationship.
Okay, all right, yeah. So my bad. I
Well,
mean,
no, because what you've actually added on to the critique is that it absolutely would be a for sale photo as well, which is great.
yeah. It demonstrates that really nicely. Okay, well, so yes, again, uh, the relationship you have captured perfectly. So that also does fit the brief of I'm selling my pony. I would love a nice shot. Um, you did mention about the background, and I completely agree. It's not ideal. Particularly the section to the left where it's, I assume, maybe a bright white wall. Um, so that is very distracting. My eye wants to go to that sort of white blob. Um, uh, the other thing to note is on the right hand side in the fencing. I'm not entirely sure what has happened, but there's some sort of weird pixelation merge thing going on, and it goes over the top of the pony's bottom.
It's
Um,
normally when highlights are brought down and that, oh, sorry, and that is blown.
Right, okay. So it's blown and then the highlights have been brought down, and then it's made a weird kind of pixelated mark. So I would watch that. The thing is, when we have images like this, I assume if you've already noted that the background wasn't ideal, you probably didn't have any other choice. Otherwise, because you've stated it, you would have shot this in a different background. So, we would always recommend, I mean, this sort of shot looks lovely in a stable because then you lose the background. There's nothing distracting you, and it is just focus on the subjects. When you have a background that is distracting in the back, it can take away slightly from the image. The only other thing to note that I think you've handled it quite well is obviously the sun is shining brightly straight onto the horse's face and onto the owner's face, which
Oh,
in this image I actually think is fine. She's looking down towards the pony. Um, there are no blown highlights in terms of
no.
actually, is it blown? Sorry, because I'm looking through Zoom, I can't zoom in myself. Is there a blown highlight just under her eye there?
No, I think that is actually it's all in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is a nice image, and like you quite rightly pointed out, the background could be better. I would watch the highlight there, your editing process, so the highlights don't do that weird splurge of I'm sure there's some technical name
Fringing?
for what's happened there. Was it
Is it fringing? No.
fringing or no, don't know.
We
No,
don't like technical words. We don't
no, we're
need to
not.
know
We just
them.
like visually can see it
Yeah.
and you know, don't want that to be the case. Don't want that to be drawing anyone's eye. So, but very nice anyway. Okay.
So this
Can you
is Frick was taken candidly at an event. I saw the shot and took it. Lots of other people in the background, so covered them with a texture. Gorgeous.
Yeah, okay. So, in terms of capturing a moment, horse looks amazing, owner looks great, nice composition
Mm,
in terms of the horses looking off to the left, the owners looking off to the left. And it certainly is showing the horse off to its best. It's a lovely moment that you've captured. I think what stands out to me, and I don't know how far you've maybe cropped in or um, the editing. So what I can see from my computer is there looks like there's a very fine pencil mark all the way around the horse, all the way around the owner. Um, yeah, can you see that, Han, quite
yeah,
clearly? Yeah,
yes.
and I'm not
Very subtle, but it's because we're used to using these eyes.
yeah, and we're critiquing, so
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what method you've used to add in that texture and background, but we need to make sure that it blends slightly better so that we don't have that sort of cut out look. The other thing to know, I sort of in two minds about the texture in the front, in the foreground, and whether actually that would be better off than put on. But I think overall the actual shot of the horse and the person is lovely.
Yeah.
And as an owner, if I had a shot of me and my horse looking like that, I'd absolutely love it. So again, I would just watch the editing. That's the key thing here. And that little pencil line all the way round
Mm,
is just where it gives it away. We want editing to enhance the image, but not look like we've completely adjusted. We've not like done 70% of the work
yeah.
after.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I
But
think
again,
also
very nice.
I think also it's one of those cleverly done images where Emily and I wouldn't guess that she were at an event.
Yeah.
But also, if you do see a moment like this at an event, don't disregard it because you're at an event with people in the background. it's still such a powerful shot. I'd be interested to see what the original was because it looks to me like it's a powerful shot with or without the textures. It's a
Yeah.
great shot.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so the next one is so there's two under the name Nikki. Very nervous about having her photo taken and initially only wanted the horse photograph, but put her at ease and she loved it, which is great. Great to hear. So these two are Nikki. Fab.
Okay, so with the right hand shot, actually, can we just speak about the right hand shot
Yeah.
first, Han? So this for me is a real classic portrait shot that we would aim for with any of our clients.
Yeah.
So the composition's really nice. You've gone for a square crop. The horse looks great. The owner looks great. We've got nice relaxed hands, relaxed reins. The horse has got its ears forward. We've got this beautiful kind of textured background in the back, with the foliage and the trees behind. The sky is not white, it's got some interest in there. And then we've got all the corn, and it's a lovely image. And I can't see really where you could improve it in terms of composition or the moment captured. One point, and this is me just being a little bit picky, is you would bring the blacks in slightly. So you've done a really nice sort of balanced edit. But in all, oh, okay, Han, here she goes.
Well, just
So I would just bring the blacks. I can't see that moving much. Did it move?
yeah, I don't know if you
Oh
can.
yeah, okay. I can see that. Yeah, before and after. There we go. So in the before, it just looks slightly grayer, slightly flatter, and in the after, you've just got a little bit more punch to it. Very subtle and actually a pretty personal preference there.
Yeah.
Um, Otherwise, yeah, I think it's a beautiful shot. So, and you did very well, by the way, to encourage the owner to get in and have her photos taken if she was nervous and didn't want them. So that's a massive bonus and also credit to you as a photographer because you
Mm,
obviously made her feel very relaxed and able to be that side of the camera.
mm.
So with this shot, again, nice composition. I'd probably like to see a little bit more space above the ears just so that we've got a little bit more space if she wanted it framed. Again, I would think about bringing the blacks in a little bit more. Again, I think there's a slight grey um, sort of tone over the top. So, and the black just gives a little bit more punch. My biggest thing with this image is the edit between the horse's nose and her face. I can see just in the middle there in the green section that it looks like there's been something taken out or merged. And
Mm.
actually, when you do that, you have to be really careful and you have to try and match what it should look like. So if you look above and below the point that has been something that's been taken out, um, there's this dark green and light green sort of crisscross sort of pattern. And then the bit that's like blurry does it looks different because it is. But what we really need to do is copy that pattern from either above or below and make sure that is copied over the top. Um, there looks like can't quite work out there, but there's a circle.
Yeah, I think that's been brought in. This is, I think, a whisker from here or something. It,
Got
it
you.
I think
Yeah,
it's sometimes Lightroom does a good job, but in my experience, Lightroom for spot healing does a good job about 10% of the time.
yeah,
If I'm spot healing, it's into Photoshop, which takes me a second. and you can spot heel so much better because
Yeah.
it does understand the job better.
Yeah, Photoshop for that sort of work is certainly where I would be going. But again, lovely connection. The horse looks
Yeah.
good. She looks good. I like the hand on his nose. Got a nice relaxed rein there. Yeah, very nice.
And I must say, this one here could be absolutely used for a campaign for the bridle, the sunglasses, the Holland Cooper trousers, the bracelets here. It's really nice that it looks very thoughtful. It's just one thing I picked up when Emily was critiquing this image is that you've
Yeah.
everything's been thought about here, which is lovely. And then we've got this last one, which is Tara. Another see it and grab it moment. I was at the yard doing a shoot with the owner and another horse. Natural dark background to the stable.
Yeah, lovely. So exactly that, a really beautifully caught moment. The horse looks fantastic. I mean, if this horse has a slightly wild nature, you've captured
Mm,
it here. Just, the wind in the mane, the way his eyes are bright and focused on something, his ears are forward. It's beautifully composed. I love the square crop. I
yeah.
actually really enjoy the blue band at the bottom.
I
I
was
think
just going to say it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
no, well, it becomes a little bit more like every other horse headshot that we see with a black background, whereas the blue just gives it, and it's actually a really nice blue.
Yeah.
If that was not such a nice blue, maybe it wouldn't work, but actually it tones in really nicely with the horse.
And I
Um,
do think this is where when you've got a critical eye, this is where taking this into Photoshop and doing this because you can see where you've repeated a,
yeah.
a clone, which is absolutely fine. But when you start looking at it, you think, oh, hang on a second, yes, and it can be that this is very tedious to clean. So sometimes you need to take a cup of tea halfway through.
Yeah. And the reason we critique, if I put my judging hat on, I would be that those points would pull it down. And so it is important to get your what's it called? The spot heel brush and the clone tool, all of those working really well so that you can't actually see it.
Mm,
Um,
yes, agreed. But what a lovely set to send through. Thank you.
A
Um,
really lovely set. I think, yeah, well done for sending them through. I know it's not easy to have your work critiqued. I remember, well, the two stories, aren't there? Hannah came to me once for a critique, and I told her never to come back again if she chops another pair of ankles off.
that was last week.
Um, and I had a critique once. I can't even remember it now, but it was along the same theme of never come back to me with this sort of image again.
I I remember Emily consoling me. It was a few moons ago, and it was in a public place when she did it, so I couldn't even cry. But I remember Emily saying to me, "Don't worry, I once took 400 of my favorite images to your then mentor for an art collection, I think it was." And she was like, "No, no, 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 no." And they were 400 of your yes, you were like, oh God.
Oh yes, yeah, I do, yeah, I do. I've had a few critiques, to be fair, over the years, but well done for sending them in.
Yeah, well done.
Great set of images, and you should be very proud.
Yeah.
And I think just work on those finer details of editing
Mm,
and getting your spot heel and your clone brush all working really, really well so that you can't actually see it. But yeah, would love to see more of your images at some point.
perfect. Well,
Fantastic.
as always, guys, send your images in to info at Emily. Oh, I did it again. Info at
Not that.
trainingbarn.co.uk. And please, can you just put in the email any information you'd like to include on the images? Feel free to send us one image or, like these five. Five is maximum. But with a set of images and we'll critique them for you. Oh, yes, Emily.
And also, just to point out, you have to be happy to have them critiqued for Facebook or live or whatever we're doing now. So other people will see the critique, but
Yeah.
we won't mention names, so you can stay anonymous. But you do need to be happy that we'll be recording it and putting it live.
Yeah, we'd love to do this live if we can figure out how we can both get on Facebook Live and share a screen,
Oh yeah.
but it just takes a technician.
That's not Hannah or me.
It's not, and we just don't have time right now to find a technician. So
Right, we can go now, Hannah.
gotta go. Right. See you later, guys. Bye.